Folks, I am not exaggerating when I say that the New Year Step-Up Summon is the best banner in Dokkan battle history. Unquestioned, every single year, year in, year out, this holds the most value, the most bang for your buck, and every single year more units get added that increases the value of the 200 stones Step-Up Summon experience. For 200 stones, you go through 5 steps, each one giving you a guaranteed featured from a particular subclass of units, all leading up to a guaranteed LR summon. For 3 rounds last year, this is what we got, and the selection was pretty crazy. For the mono leads, you had all these up here. For the Dokkan Festival categories, we had 3 different subsections to make it a little bit easier to actually pull the categories that you want, followed by the LR with all of these units. This started actually back in 2019, so for today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to look through the history of the Step-Up Summons, and we're also going to discuss some of the units that could potentially be joining this year's 2022 New Year's Step-Up Summon banner. So let's take a look at how things were back in 2019. This was the first year that the New Year's Step-Up actually happened on Dokkan, and back then it was only 2 rounds for 200 stones a pop, and it's very different in terms of the personnel here, because look at this lineup. 5 units to choose from at each step, except for the last 2, which is just quite crazy when compared to 2021. Look at how 2021 looks with all of these units everywhere versus 2019. As you can see, Dokkan has considerably changed over the last couple of years, so it can only be, it's very obvious that this year is going to be no different. There's going to be more units, more selection to choose from, but there could potentially be a way to somewhat mitigate the high volume of units per section. As you can see, back in 2019, the first section, the first step, was for the 70% EZAs, right? Then step 2 was the mono ST or super type leads with the 120s, and then extreme was step 3. Step 4 was the category lead. Step 5 was the LR. Going into 2020, the selection increased, and we started to see a little bit more integration with some of the various steps here, with step 1 being extreme Z for the 90% once again. And then we jumped into the super and extreme class for mono type leads. So they clumped steps 2 and 3 from last year together. And then step 3 ended up being the super type for categories. And step 4 ended up being the extreme for categories. And then step 5 was obviously the LRs. Going into 2021, it just became all about categories. Step 1, all mono type EZAs, 70s, 120s, you name it, they're all in the first step. Step 2 through 4 were all of the categories, and look at how many there were. Each one clustered basically to the brim with a whole bunch of new category units with a mixture of extreme and superclass. At this point, we've pretty much reached market saturation when it comes to categories. There's just too many to choose from, which leads into what's potentially going to be happening this year. So the good news is that they're able to actually change things up each year. They're not just going to keep clustering units on each section. They actually do some creative workarounds to fix that problem. What could potentially be happening this year is that instead of even having a mono type EZA bunch, they'll probably, it's possible anyway, they could just remove this altogether and devote a 4th section to all of the category units. That way, you can remove some of the cluster and some of the concentration of units per section and make a brand new one with only categories and have these mono type units become unfeatured SSRs. They could start to do something with the unfeatured, because if you've noticed, the featured selection for the LRs doesn't expand to the point where it's got every single LR attainable. It does have a rotating cast, or somewhat of a small focused cast. See how we've got the 90 OG 90s in here for 2020. For 2021, we've got some of the more recent LRs in there. So the LR selection does change. Why not so to have the Dokkan Festival categories be modified a little bit and just get with the times? Let's just remove the mono type leads from the selection. It's good, but it's not necessary given what Dokkan is all about right now. All about the category meta, might as well lean into that. So now let's take a look and see which units could potentially be joining this year's selection in the New Year's Step Up. We can actually figure this out from last year. From last year, the most recent category unit in the bunch was the STR Kefla. Kefla was the most recent one to drop. So using the date that was given for Kefla's arrival, we can basically use that as precedent for this year. So August 11th of 2020 last year was when Kefla showed up, which means that is the cutoff point. So every Dokkan Festival TUR that released after Kefla until August 11th, 2021 will all be theoretically included on this upcoming New Year's step up. So let's actually check out DBZ Space and take a look. This is the Kefla banner that ended in August of 2020, August 27th. So let's go see what other units could be included. This was from last year, so that won't be there. The next Dokkan Festival TUR, not LR, doesn't count the 6-year or the worldwide, would be the Ultimate Gohan. So this guy released as the next unit after Kefla. So this unit will be the first to be included in the new step up bunch. And you just keep scrolling up at that point. You got the thank you celebration, you got the evil Boo or the fat Boo, and you got Gotenks. You keep scrolling until you find the unit that released or ended at the same time as the Kefla banner. So if we keep going here, looking for August of 2021, end of August, we're looking at Videl. So basically, Ultimate Gohan until Videl, all Dokkan Festival TURs in between, inclusive, will be a part of the 2022 Dokkan Fest step up. So what you'll probably see is Videl in this slot. Everybody else will be shifted over. And if my theory comes to pass, we'll remove the mono leads here and we'll just throw on some of the residual category leads from all of these different sections, throw them in there just to make it a little bit easier. That way it kind of appeases to the simplicity of the 2019 look, right? You actually have a chance to get the units that you want in each section, whereas here you've just got a giant mess. So I would predict that would be what happens, but as far as the actual category leads that are joining, everything from Ultimate Gohan to Videl will be included. Now, for the LRs, if we look through the selection last year, the most recent LR from these was, I believe, the Ultra Instinct Goku, and this guy was very much a big story at the time because there was a big global fiasco in terms of false advertising. Ultra Instinct Goku was on the marketing, but he was not in the actual selection of units to choose from, which resulted in a bunch of refunds and a whole bunch of craziness. So with this guy being out, he released on global in May of 2020. I was going to say May of 2022. The 22nd of May 2020, which actually happens before the 5-year anniversary. So basically what we got to do is find the starting point right here on the DBZ Space and then look up until May 22nd, 2021 and look at all of the different LRs that released in between that point. So let's go back here. This is where the Ultra Instinct banner first released. It ended on the 7th of June, 2020. So this is the Ultra Instinct Goku. So we're going to scroll up. What is the first LR banner that dropped? New LR banner that dropped. We don't want to be using recycled ones or Dokkan Festival LRs or anything from worldwide downloads or yearly anniversaries. So this one doesn't count because this was a part of the 5-year anniversary. This legendary summon for Majin Vegeta was part of the worldwide download, so that doesn't count. If we keep going here, Rising Dragon Carnival banner, that doesn't count because that doesn't give you an LR. Baby Vegeta is a repeat banner, so that doesn't count. Same with Goku Frieza. Those were scam banners. All of these guys were scam banners. That one, I think it was Gohan, yeah. So Rising Dragon Carnival banner, Gohan, the simultaneous celebration or banner that released with Global and JP. I believe this is the first LR post Ultra Instinct Goku that would factor into the new LR selection. So we take that, scroll all the way to June 7th, 2021 to find a similar end date, and that would be Super 17. So what's probably going to happen is everything between Ultra Instinct Goku and Super 17, including Super 17, will be the new LRs featured in Step 5. Super 17 was a banner that a lot of people were most likely to have avoided. So if you guys did not summon on that, the chance of you getting him on this next year banner could be pretty good. So that is pretty much our only real way of figuring out what could potentially be on the banner. Then again, all of this could be completely wrong. Global Dokkan decides to go in a brand new direction and throw everything out of whack, and we're completely wrong about all of this. At this point, folks, it's anybody's guess, but based on years past and the precedent that's been set, this is the most logical in terms of what units will be arriving. So if you guys have not summoned for any of these units, now you can get hyped because you have a chance to actually get them on these New Year's step-ups. That is going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments, what is the one TUR Dokkan Festival unit that has eluded you throughout the year that you would love to see on the Dokkan New Year's step-up? And what is the LR that has also eluded you throughout the year that you would love to pick up during the LR portion of the Step Up banner? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.